Hello there everyone, I am Louis the Average Guy 1983. Thank you very much for joining me on this video today. In today's video, I'm going to be unboxing the Navee ST3 Pro. I'm very excited to be partnering up with the Navee company. So I'm going to have a discount code for you guys at the end of the video and also talk to you guys about the warranty coverage on this unit, which really surprised me, man, after I got the information. So with that said, let's go ahead and roll the intro so we can start the unboxing. Alrighty, my friends, so let's go ahead and get to it. Oh, that looks nice. Alrighty, my friends, now that I opened the box, let me go ahead and bring you guys closer so you guys can take a look at what's inside of the box. Alrighty, my friends, so I'm showing you guys the side that actually is important. The other side is just a piece of styrofoam holding the stem. On this box side, though, you get your Navee branded owner's manual, as well as a hex key and some screws to be able to put the handlebar stem together. You get a 16 gauge power cord for the charger and the charger itself. So let me go ahead and give you guys a little close-up of that real quick. So the charger here says output is 54.6 volts, which is the equivalent for the 48 charging, and 1.5 amp hours. The amp hours is a little bit on the low side, but the battery is only 12.75 amp hours, which is 620 watt hours, so this should be fine. Alrighty, so now that I showed you guys those things, let's go ahead and remove the foam. This side was the one that had all the stuff inside. And this side right here was just holding the stem in place. Let's go ahead and get the scooter out, but first let's go ahead and lift up the stem. Lock it in place. And then just temporarily, just put this on top here, just like this. What I want to do is make sure that we don't crush the wires or pinch them. So let me make sure I'm able to get that in there. There we go. All right, cool. So there is a little bit more foam in here. This one here that was holding in the handlebar in place. And then it seems there's more foam at the bottom for the front and the rear. So let me go ahead and pull the scooter up now. Oh, wow, this is super lightweight. This weighs nothing. Let me put the kickstand up and move the box to the side. All right, so as you guys can see here, the scooter does have some plastic on the handlebar area. It has some plastic on the bottom wheels on both the left and the right side. So let's go ahead and pull that off. Reminds me a lot of the 9-Bot Max G2, but it looks nicer. Actually, much nicer. This looks nice. Tires do feel like they need a little more air, so we'll make sure to fill those up. All right, so let's go ahead and get you guys closer so we can go ahead and put the stem together, show you guys how to put the screws on. All right, so the little pouch that comes with the Allen key, which is this one right here, does come with 5 screws. Obviously, you're only going to need 4 out of the 5. So let's go ahead and start installing the screws. I'm going to just pre-install them real quick, just so that I can be sure that they're going to fit both in the rear and in the front. Alrighty, my friends, so I hope you guys can see this okay. So we are going to start installing the screws here. I pre-put them on just to try to make this faster. But it does come with the little bag that has 5 screws. And what we're doing here is just tightening up the handlebar so that it stays in place. We'll do the rear first and then the front of the scooter. Alright, there's the rear. Let's go to the front. Alright, this is the front of the scooter. I do like that they put Loctite on these screws, and a good amount of it too. You can definitely feel the tension as you're screwing it down. That'll secure the stem and the handlebar very well together. Alright, and that is it for the installation of that. So let's go ahead and zoom out and start talking about the specs of the scooter. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, and this right here is already a fully assembled Navee ST3 Pro. So this is what it looks like. Again, it just took 4 screws to put it together and you're pretty much done. Off camera, I did adjust the brake levers so it feels more comfortable to my hand. I also changed the speed limiter because it is set to 20 miles an hour. What you have to do for that is you have to turn on the scooter, press and hold the power button as well as the brake lever. Either side is fine, but just go with the left side. And what you do there is press and hold it for 7 seconds. On the display, it's going to go with the number 32. From there, you change it from 32 to 00 by pressing the brake lever once or twice to change it to the menu. And then once you do that, push the power button again as your enter button. The scooter is going to reflash itself and then restart, and then you'll be unlocking the full potential of the scooter from 20 miles per hour out of the box to 25 miles max speed limit. So with that said, the other things I like to talk to you guys about is basically the battery. The battery is 42 volts, 12.75 amp hours, which is equivalent to 620 watt hours. There's a little bit of misinformation on the website giving it less watt hours, but it really is more. It's actually 620. Another cool feature about this is actually the brakes. So let me bring you guys closer so you guys can see that. All right, so one of the coolest things about this scooter for safety is that it has 3 different braking mechanisms. It has a front drum brake, it has a wired disc brake, and it has electronic braking, which is amazing because on my Max G2, it only has the front disc brake. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, and we're now at the front of the scooter here on the handlebar. I did want to show you guys what this looks like. This is a display. If you double tap on the power button, you can change it to walk mode, double tap again, drive mode, double tap one more time, and sport mode. I think for most people, they're going to have it in sport mode. I already did a little test with the scooter lifted up with no weight on it or no load, and it actually had a speed limit of 12 miles per hour in drive mode and 25 miles per hour in sport mode. And this, again, is with the feature that was unlocked on the scooter. And yeah, I just wanted to let you guys know. So this is the turn signals here. Now keep in mind, they won't turn off until you push the button. So if you expect it to turn off after 5 or 7 flashes, it's not going to do it. But the beep is loud enough to let you know that you have your turn signal on so you don't accidentally leave it on. So it's pretty convenient. It doesn't have a horn, but it does have a bell. So this is what it sounds like. This is convenient, you know, in a friendly way of letting people know that, you know, you're behind them when you're on the sidewalk. Ideally, I like to ride in the bike lane, so I'm going to recommend you guys a motorcycle grade horn that you can attach to the scooter like I have on my Segway GT1 and Segway 9 Max G2 and several other scooters that don't technically have a horn. It's very convenient. It even works as an alarm. So I'm going to definitely put that in the description for you guys. A couple other things you guys do need to know is that this has kick to start. So if you push the throttle, it's not going to do anything until you push to start the scooter. So it probably has to go about 1.5 miles before it actually starts moving. The brake levers are a little confusing. The left side is for your front wheel and the right side is for your rear wheel. So just keep that in mind as well as you're using your brakes. I know that for most of our scooters here in the US, it's the opposite way, but this is how it is on this Navee ST3 Pro. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, so talking about the light, all you have to do is just push the power button just one time and it turns on the light and you can adjust it up or down. So this is up and this is down. So pretty easy to adjust. The other cool feature is that it also has the tail light that's on and it also turns on your ambient lighting at the same time as long as you have it already preset to power on within the app. So let me go ahead and show you guys the tail light and then I'll show you guys the ambient lighting. Alrighty, my friends, and this is what it looks like with the tail light off. This is now with the tail light on, and this is the brake lever. So brake lever, no brake lever with just the tail light on, tail light off. Let me show you guys the ambient lighting. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, and this is going to be the ambient lighting on the deck. So we're going to go ahead and power on the headlight and tail light. And now we're going to go under the app and we're going to turn it on. And now you see it on. Now it has 4 colors to choose from when it comes to the deck lighting, and it's on in static mode or always on. It has this blue light, it has this purple light, it has this green light, and it has a red light. Now you can change it to breathing mode and it'll do this. So you'll start seeing the light flashing. We can change it to different colors so you can see it a little bit better. See that? Blue, purple, and then RGB. So you'll start seeing it changing colors by itself. Now if we change it to running water, this is what it looks like under RGB. So you can see one color changing at a time. And you can do the same thing with the other colors. And then the last one is called runway. It's only one option, and that's RGB, and it looks like this. So there you go, guys. So my favorite option so far on this scooter is under always on and the blue color. So this right here is my favorite color on this scooter. So we're going to leave it at that. But to save battery, we are going to turn it off on the app. So I'm turning it off so I can still have the headlight and the tail light on, but the ambient lighting off. Saves a little bit of battery life when it comes to range. So now that I showed you guys that, let's go ahead and take it out and see how it does on the road. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, so we're now on the next day. Today is now Saturday, May 17, 2025. The reason why I had to wait an extra day is because the audio got corrupted on the Insta360 Ace Pro. I'm not sure what happened, but it was cutting off in and out, and I was getting like left and right ear audio, plus a lot of weird like scrapey sounds, which was kind of weird. So I figured I would try again. So we got the Navee ST3 Pro fully charged. We have the tire pressure set to 55 psi, and we have the acceleration boost set to on, because I noticed that it was a little bit on the slow side when it came to yesterday's video that I was trying to do. So I did adjust the brakes because the brakes were a little on the soft side, and I hope that it's improved, but we are at 100%. Now yesterday, when I tested out the scooter speed, in drive mode, it said that it did 12 miles an hour, and in sport mode, it's doing 25 miles an hour based on the display. I'm getting the same exact numbers that I did riding it yesterday as I did when I was doing the offload speed test. So we're gonna see how it does, but yeah, the app does have its limitations. You can't change the speed settings like I said before, so I figured, you know, you have to do it from within the scooter itself. But we are in full safety gear, so let's go ahead and turn on the Insta360 Ace Pro and hope that it works. So let's do this, guys. Alrighty, here we go. So you do have to kick to start, so here we go. Seems like you have to be at about 3 miles an hour in order to be able to kick start the scooter and get it to go. So here we are. I see 12 miles an hour on the display. So if that's what it's doing, that is pretty damn slow. This is what I would consider sidewalk speed limits. So let me lower that down, because if that's it, oh, it stopped pretty good. All right, let's raise it to sport mode and get going. Here we go. All right, I see 12 miles, 15. Acceleration seems to be pretty damn good. 21 now. 23. 24. It says 24 still. We're gonna go ahead and turn right here. We're gonna test out the suspension right now, going full speed. It says 24 to 25 miles an hour. Oh yeah, I can't even feel that. Okay, it says 25 now on the display. Let me stop right here. Okay, so it does stop, but it takes a little bit. I noticed that it definitely does stop, but the brakes feel a little on the soft side. And I did adjust the brakes, so to see that it's kind of soft or spongy, but it still stops. A little concerning, just a tiny bit. Here we go. It does feel good though. Acceleration wise, it feels just like the Max G2 when it has that speed mode thing on. Now the only bad thing about the Max G2 is that acceleration boost that it has, it only lasts 20 miles an hour. So that's a little concerning. I'm not sure how long that will last on this one, but I do plan on doing a range test later on when I get a little upgraded horn for it. because I feel like that is very, very important. But I see 25 miles an hour. Let's go ahead and slow down over here. It does feel pretty nice though, for sure. And then brake. Yeah, it does stop good. It's just that maybe I'm just being a little paranoid, because like I'm used to scooters that have those hydraulic brakes and not cable brakes. Now the only thing, like I mentioned before, this does have kick to start, so you have to have it at about 3 miles an hour just to get it to go. And I kind of wish I can turn that feature off so I can just take off from traffic. It's definitely not dropping speed either, taking it up this little incline, so that's a good thing too. Oh, and I could smell the rain already. It's starting to rain a little bit. Oh God. Oh well, at least I was able to do the initial test here, so very nice. So this is the Navee ST3 Pro, and so far it feels very promising as a commuter. It definitely does feel a lot better in quality than my Segway 9bot Max G2. So with that said, let me take you guys down to the basement so I can talk to you guys about the overall experience with the scooter, and on top of that, talk to you guys about their impressive warranty, because we got some things to talk about. Alrighty guys, let me meet you downstairs. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, and we're now in the basement, and I'd like to talk to you guys about my experience so far with the Navee ST3 Pro. When it comes to its acceleration, I think it did great. I'm glad that I switched it over in the app to boost mode, because under the eco mode, it was just going too slow as a takeoff speed. And there's nothing wrong with that realistically, because at the same time you're saving battery versus having it in boost mode, taking off a little faster. But I actually need that extra boost, and it's because we live in LA. So over here in LA, it's pretty crazy. A lot of people like to drive fast, so you need a really good acceleration on an electric scooter to be able to feel a little bit more safer riding it on the road, especially in the bike lane. So when it came to drive mode was actually 12 miles an hour, and I felt that it was really dangerous to ride like that on the street. Even in the bike lane, I don't recommend it. I would suggest to use that in the sidewalk, though even sidewalks are supposedly not recommended for us to use. But in all fairness, there's all kinds of people using the scooters on the sidewalks as well as e-bikes. So I figured, as long as you're not going faster than 15 miles an hour, you should have plenty of stopping power to be able to stop in case you see a pedestrian just crossing just randomly, just be able to brake. And that's another thing. When it came to the brakes, it did pretty good. Maybe I was feeling a little bit on the paranoid side, like I said earlier in the video, and it was because I'm used to hydraulic brakes. So for me, I think it's fine for a commuter. It's definitely better than the 9bot Max G2. And when it came to its speed for sport mode, it did 24 miles instead of 25. So again, I think it did pretty good. There's a lot of scooters out there, including the InMotion RS, that claim to do 40 miles an hour in Gear 2, and in reality it does 39. Same thing with the Segway GT1. It claims to do 37 miles an hour in race mode, but in reality it does 34 on the GPS. So, you know, just keep that in mind, that all scooters tend to kind of do that, except for like the lower speeds. But in reality, I think for this commuter, it would be better to keep it in sport mode at all times and just kind of control the throttle on your speed. I do wish that you can change the speed in drive mode from 12 to maybe 15 or 16 miles an hour. I'm not even sure if that's possible, because all I was able to do was just adjust the max speed limit on the scooter for sport mode. So overall, it's a really nice scooter. I do highly recommend it because it has a bigger battery. It has a lot of features. The braking mechanism works pretty well. The fact that you're getting a drum brake, a disc brake, and electronic braking at the same time to work together, it's a great way to stop on a commuter scooter. Far superior than my 9bot Max G2, and I'm just being honest. On top of that, let me share some screenshots with you guys so you guys can see this right now. The 9bot Max G2 right now is currently on sale for $1,000. and it has a 36 volt 15.3 amp hour battery, which is equivalent to 550 watt hours. Now on the Navee ST3 Pro, you can see it on sale here for $799. However, I have a discount code that you can use called TAG1983, which will drop it by 15%, which will save you $119.99, dropping the total price of the scooter to $680. And that is a really good deal. On top of that, for the moment, you can also get a free Na'vi branded helmet, which is a really cool convenience and a nice perk to have. I don't see that option with Segway at all. So I think that this is a really good deal. Things that I would like to see improved on the scooter would be being able to have a faster charger, because 1.5 amps is really slow. It took me like 5 hours to charge from 36% to 100% battery life. So if we can get like a 3 amp charger, which is double the power of the original charger, it can charge in about 4 hours instead, which that's more realistic to be able to do on the scooter. But yeah, I think it's really good. And again, you can use my discount code at naveetech.us at checkout, TAG1983, to save yourself some good money and get a really good scooter that will work for you for commuting. So I think it's an excellent commuter for what it is. It's wonderful. Again, it has the same self-healing tires that are 10 inches. It goes up to 55 PSI for the tires. I do recommend you do that so that this way you can get the most range. And again, the suspension, even though it's made out of rubber, is very, very comfortable. There are zero clank sounds coming out of this scooter, and I think it's wonderful. So when it comes to its warranty, I gotta read this stuff for you, but I'm going to also put it on the screen over here on this side so you guys can see it. But let's go ahead and get started with that. So you have 3 different terms of warranty coverage. You got a 2-year term, a 1-year term, and 3-month term. And here's what's covered under each category. Under the 2 years, you got the carriage, which is technically considered the frame of the scooter, the vehicle pipe, the nose rotary core, the handlebar, the front fork and rear fork, which is technically like the swing arms or control arms for us here in the US, the motor, the controller, the instrument. When it comes to the instrument, they're talking about the display. So just keep that in mind. And the main wire harness. That's 2-year coverage. The 1-year coverage goes as followed. Quick accessories like the folding handle, the folding locking pin, the brake handle, the disc brake, the accelerator thumb shifter, which is technically your thumb throttle, the battery, the charger, and the damper, etc. That's really impressive for a 1-year coverage. You don't get that coverage either with InMotion, for it being a $4,000 scooter, just to let you guys know. The disc brakes are not covered because it's considered normal wear and tear, even if it comes defective out of the box. So you guys remember, from all of you guys who've been subscribed to me for a while, the hassle that I had to go through to get the parts replaced out of the box. So that was pretty crazy. Now the 3-month limitation would be the brake cable, the bumper stripe, the headlight, the mud guards, the bell, the side reflector lamp, the tail light, the kickstand, the foot pad, which is technically the grip that goes on the deck, and various ornament covers. That is impressive. And the fact that they're actually listing things here to let you know what is covered, that is amazing, because there's a lot of scooter companies that say, we give you a 1-year warranty, but they don't tell you exactly what's covered. So when you ask, hey, my scooter broke and this broke off of it, can you guys help me with a repair? And what ends up happening is they tell you, oh, sorry, that's not covered under our warranty. But yet under their fine print, they don't put down what's covered. Na'vi doesn't have a problem doing that, which I think is cool. However, I did go to their website because I wanted to see how much the brake pads would cost for the rear motor and maybe the drum brake, and I couldn't find any information on it. So Na'vi, if you guys can you guys try to update that under the website so that this way we can know how much the replacement brake pads would cost, and the same thing for the front drum brake if it ever needs to be replaced. I'm pretty sure it's going to last a long time, considering we have 3 different type of braking mechanisms to use, which I think is great, but it also would be nice to be able to have spare parts just in case. With that said, man, this is going to be concluding my video. I do plan on doing a range test on this scooter in sport mode, but I do want to get the motorcycle grade horn first before I do the range test, because I live in LA and it's really important to have something that's loud of a horn, not a bell, to let cars that are coming out of driveways as you're passing by them know that you're around them, so this way they can hear it and slow down before they choose to, you know, just randomly pop out of a driveway and you just end up hitting them. So with that said, guys, if you guys are interested in purchasing this scooter, if this is more than good enough for you and you're interested in getting a really good commuter, consider using my discount code TAG193 to save 15% off on your Navee scooter at naveetech.us. So thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it and found it informative. Up until the next video, I will see you guys then. Peace for now.